Hi, ladies. Good morning. Happy to see you. Happy to see you're joining for day 2.
Yep, you're okay?
Yes, I'm great. I'm happy to be here with you and to go
Nice.
live with day 2 of the self-growth and self-love and self-growth mastermind for women, which is so important. It's a beautiful topic. I'm saying hi to the people filming me here in Luna House. In Cascais. Luna House is actually the co-working hub from where I'm doing this lives every day for the week, and I'm actually going to interview their founder on Thursday. She's scheduled for Thursday, and it's such a beautiful concept. I'm giving you a sneak peek while people are jumping in and joining. It's such a beautiful concept because you get to see the diversity of what it means to have a multicultural team coming together to work and create a beautiful environment that is so conducive for inspiration and growth for entrepreneurs. The two co-founders are Ukrainian, and I'm going to interview one of them, and they are working, so they have on their team both Ukrainians and Russians and Colombians and Brazilians and so many beautiful multicultural backgrounds. But it just stands to show that the new or the younger generation of people, they see beyond wars, they see beyond conflicts, they see and then they embody collaboration. And it's a woman that has created this. Not to mention the fact that this co-working place has a pool. You have I can't turn around the camera to show you, but I'm actually looking. The window behind me is showing you the beautiful garden they have, but the window in front of me is actually facing the pool, and they have beautiful spaces, meeting rooms, and free coffee and drinks, and salsa classes that I'm going to attend a salsa class tonight, and yoga classes and ceramics workshops. So she's created a beautiful concept. I want to showcase her on Thursday, and it stands for feminine creativity. You know what we can create when we're given. She got some funding from some European funding. What we can create when we have a brilliant business idea and we access funding. How are you today? I'm checking in with all the ladies joining. It's 10:01 where I am at. So welcome, Sapna. Welcome, Whitney. You're joining us from Kenya, right? And who's joining on Facebook? So whether
it's from Kenya.
From Kenya, Winnie.
Yes,
so
yes.
Great.
Thank you.
To hear you. You're very welcome, sweetheart. I have such a beautiful, dear link to Kenya and dear memories with regards to the people that I met there, but also the landscapes. They're amazing. And my first ever safari, of course, was in Kenya, in the Nairobi National Park. And yeah, and I've been to Mombasa as well, and beautiful other regions. Okay, so I'm gonna give a few minutes for ladies to join. I sent the link 10 minutes ago, so let's give a bit of space for people to join. And I want to check in with you, the ones that are on the call, Sapna, Whitney. How are you today? And back to you, the class yesterday, the first masterclass we had, the one on self-love and the levels. If you have any reflections on that, because we didn't have much time in the end of yesterday to actually go through reflections. If you remember the map that we went through of the levels of self-love or the levels of consciousness, how did that impact you, or if you have any reflections on that? Hi, Elena. Welcome, sweetheart. We have more people joining. Welcome. And if you're joining on Facebook, please type in hello and where you're joining from as well. Happy to see you here. Okay. London? Julia is joining as well. Hi, Julia. Julia is joining us from Romania.
Hi, everybody.
So good to see you.
So happy to see you.
Wonderful.
Can't wait for today.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so I think we're almost 5 minutes past. So I'm just going to start with day 2 of the mastermind. So I do hope that the frameworks and the teachings that we went through yesterday, the levels, the practices when it comes to gratitude for oneself, which is the seed, not only for love, but I would say for abundance, when we connect at deeper than ever levels with gratitude, that is what starts manifesting in our lives more synchronicities and more abundance. We attract more of that which we are grateful for. And we also attract more or less that which bugs us or annoys us, unless we make peace with it. Once we make peace with it, it starts to dissipate and to go away. So I'm so happy to inaugurate day 2 of the mastermind, which is about energy management. And interestingly, even myself as a host, I can start with that. Oh, let me actually start recording. Sapna reminded me yesterday to record. I will start recording now that everybody's here. So warm welcome to everyone once again. This is day 2 of the Self-Love and Self-Growth Mastermind for women this summer. I'm really happy and grateful for all of you joining, for all of you making this time investment in yourself and energy investment. And I hope it serves you well. And I hope you benefited from the teachings of day 1. And I was just recapping a little bit the practices that we shared yesterday. So we finalized with a beautiful meditation. By the way, these meditations are very powerful. If you go back to them and you redo them, they really help you center, they really help you open your heart, and they help you attune to your higher self and a higher intelligence. And they open you to the flow of life and inspiration for that day. I like to do them in the beginning of the day. Secondly, the second thing that I wanted to mention is the fact that we did we finalized yesterday with 3 beautiful exercises on self-love. One had to do with gratitude for oneself, which actually creates more of what we want to bring in our lives, and it brings more abundance of that, which we are grateful for. Secondly, we looked at how we can actually speak to not only to ourselves but to others. So we gave each other as women compliments, and it's beyond compliments. We acted as mirrors for each other. So we told ourselves what we see in each other, which was very, very beautiful. Another moment that I hold dear, and I invite you to go over it, because it's good to be reminded over and over again what we stand for as women, as a tribe, as a beautiful, beautiful consciousness. And the consciousness of the feminine is rising on the planet, not only for women, but for men as well. Men are starting to look deeper within, to start to want to understand their emotions, they're starting to open their hearts more. They're starting to, even in the business world, talk more about emotional intelligence and intuition, and the importance of decision making that is not only based on logic, but also based on a deep emotional and balanced well-being. So it's not, when I speak about feminine energy, it's not It's not only an attribute of women, it's an attribute of both men and women. So this actually inaugurates day 2 for us. Day 2 is about managing your energy, and it's very funny because I actually last night had a little bit of an incident with noise happening around me. So this morning I had to really manage my energy well and get myself pumped up for the session. But it's nothing that a good dance and some nice music cannot solve, plus meditation. So these are my go-to practices. And today you'll actually get to design your own practices when it comes to boosting your own energy. It's part of the practice part for day 2. So before we start, I want to open up with the same intention and blessing as yesterday. I want to read this intention and blessing for every day of the mastermind, because it stands for what brings us together as women, and it stands for what I'm seeing happen more and more in the world, and what I want to it stands for it's the purpose of this community that I'm creating, the Innovatrix. I love to call it the Innovatrix community of women that are powerful, loving, and creative minds and hearts. So you can sit back, relax, and just with an open awareness receive this intention and blessing for you and for all of us as a beautiful community. So here it goes. May we come together in true sisterhood, open to receive, elevate ourselves, be inspired, and grow into our divine right to abundance, joy, health, and well-being. May we each listen with our hearts, reason with our higher mind, receive at a deep cellular level the activations and inspirations through our body, and act from a deep place of resonance with our higher selves. May we support, uplift, and see the best in each other. And may we each receive our intentions for this mastermind and way beyond what we could have ever imagined. May love and the sacredness and joy of our feminine essence be our guiding torches, igniting our passion and our dreams for the whole duration of the mastermind. And may we be inspired to continue on our path of growth, well-being, and expansion into our gifts and service in the world. With so much love, yours truly. Okay, I see the chat is going live. Hello. Oh, Sapna says we need this more salsa and work. Yes, of course. Absolutely. Let me see who's joining on Facebook. If you're joining on Facebook, say hi on the Facebook Live, and you can say hi as well on the replay and tell us where you're joining from. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. Give me a moment. Okay. Right. There we go. All right. I hope you can see it. So for those of you who are joining for day 2, welcome, warm welcome. I'm Alina Cristina. I'm a sacred femininity leadership and business coach. I have shared a little bit of my story yesterday, and my story is actually very much connected to both the corporate world and the entrepreneurship. I used to work for over 10 years in the corporate, in the field of learning and development in HR, running trainings, particularly managerial trainings and leadership trainings, focused on emotional intelligence and motivation, well-being, team motivation as well. And then I transitioned into entrepreneurship. My transition was marked, as I shared yesterday, by a burnout episode and also by dark night of the soul, so to speak, a waking up to the fact that I wasn't living necessarily in alignment with what was best for me. I wasn't aligned with what was serving my feminine energy. I was running on very, very low energy and being the overdoer, the overachiever, which is great because at the end of the day, it served its purpose. That's what I'm trying to say. It served its purpose. At the end of the day, every challenge we face in our lives, once we learn and we understand the lesson of it, we get to see also the hidden blessing of it, and we get to alchemize it, we get to transform it. This is one of the attributes as well of the feminine essence and the feminine energy, and that is alchemy. We are really masters of emotional alchemy. We can, given the right tools and the right knowledge, we can really transmute, transform, and alchemize everything that stands in our way. So for me, the challenge had to do with having this programming of my worth, my self-worth is determined externally, which is not true. And it's a programming, an insidious programming that so many people have right now. And we are growing out of it. My path to grow out of it has been and still is entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is really a true path of self-mastery, in the sense that when you go down this path, you are faced with everything that you wanted or didn't want even to see about yourself. So I had to face my addiction to putting my self-worth into somebody else's hand and therefore having to overdo and overachieve in order to prove my worth. The bright side of that is that it makes you pretty responsible, but a pretty responsible person. But the downside of that is that it makes you responsible towards others and less towards yourself. And the balance, the equilibrium is when you develop a sturdy, solid sense of self-responsibility, not only towards others, but towards yourself as well. And that means that this is when self-love starts to flourish in yourself, in oneself. So self-love, when we start from that foundation of deep love and deep reverence and understanding that you're not separate from the essence of life and everything that surrounds us. You're not separate from the divine. You are an emanation of the divine, and you are gifted, you are talented, and you have a journey, a story to write in this lifetime. When you understand that, then your inner love starts to flourish. You start to take better care of yourself. You start to lay down practices in your life that allow you to grow into a new level of who you really want to be, and a deeper level of responsibility. And therefore, it allows you to flourish, to bloom. And it's what allowed me to realize it's time that I stop neglecting myself and my feminine essence, and it's time that I go deeper into what it means to be a woman. And we'll talk today on energy management about maybe what are some of the practices that allow us as women to deepen and flourish into our true feminine essence. It's been my passion and one of my main topics since the burnout episode that I had in the corporate, that allowed me to finally ask the big questions in my life and then transition into entrepreneurship after a sabbatical trip. It's been one of my passions and deep discoveries, the connection, the deep link we have as women with the feminine and the sacred feminine. And when I say the sacred feminine, I mean here truly what is our spark of genius as women. We all have a beautiful spark of genius. And also, our feminine essence is the thread that unites us as women. It has its own qualities. It has its own archetypes. From the archetype of the maiden to all the way to the archetype of the queen, of the mother, of the wise woman, There are so many archetypes as women that we get to embody in this lifetime. So it has ignited that passion in me. I've studied extensively about it. I've joined femininity schools and priestess schools, and I'm super, super happy and excited to share more of those feminine practices with you. Okay, so day 2, as I was mentioning, is about self-nurture and energy management. And as yesterday, feel free at any time to pause to stop me, to ask any questions. I'll also ask you a few questions throughout this transmission. But yeah, if you have any curiosities and any questions, please, by all means, stop me and ask. Go ahead. You can type your question in the chat or on Facebook, on the Facebook chat as well. So, self-care, like your life and work depends on it. Why do you think actually that's so important, to self-care, like our life and work actually depend on it? Because it actually does. It does depend on it. Self-care is it's I would say the vital the vital missing piece, I would say, to happiness in the world. If only we all started our day with a piece of self-care and looking within before we put our eyes externally to the world around us, and we start giving. If only we put our vision internally first, and we did something loving for ourselves first thing in the morning, then I do believe the world would be less prone to conflict, less stressed, and less anxious as well. Because anxiety is also a sign of not taking the time to listen to yourself and what your inner most dear parts of yourselves want to tell you. So we're going to look at your feminine energy map and ways to replenish it. And I'm going to share a few practices to increase self-care and develop healthy routines. And then at the end of the day, I'm going to the meditation for day 2 is very beautiful, and it's about balancing your energy centers. So I'm going to run a meditation at the end of this call, going through each of your energy centers and balancing them, so clearing the unneeded and activating more of your beautiful feminine essence. Okay, so this is something we already touched upon yesterday, that self-care is actually not selfish, it's self-fulfilling. And here I have a question for you. I'm curious, when would you say, for me, the journey into self-care and more, I would say more conscious self-care started back in 2017. So that's like 5 years ago. And I mean, the conscious self-care. When would you say your journey started? I'm curious, you can type in the chat. When did you start taking a deeper look at the way you take care of yourself and nourish yourself as a woman? When did you start thinking? It includes even thinking about your self-care practices. Hi, Denisa is joining us. Hello, Denisa, on Facebook from Bucharest. Welcome, sweetheart. So you can type in the chat. I encourage you to type in the chat. When did your self-care journey start? When did you start taking it more seriously? I am curious to know. I'm wondering, okay, yes, I can see the chat. 2019 says up now. Wonderful, beautiful. And welcome for the new joiners. So it really doesn't matter when it started. It could have started yesterday. The important thing is that we're here and we're talking about it. And if 2019 is still pretty much the early stages. Now it's becoming a growing wave across the world. And for all of you who started on this journey earlier, welcome to one of the biggest waves of the 21st century. Self-care is going to become a main trend and a growing wave across the world, because ultimately it's what will allow us to go and grow through the changes, the systemic changes that the world is going through right now. No matter what the evolution of the worldwide situation will be in the following years, the moment you have established a practice of self-care, and the moment you have established that you start from this deep connection with yourself every day, that moment you become less prone to anxiety, you become less prone to being caught by fear news, you become less prone to anything that comes at you. You develop like a very thick aura of discernment, love, and trust within yourself. So you will be able to more easily, once you are nourished and you are well from the inside out, you are able to discern more easily what is for you and what is not for you. And you are able to look at everything in your life from a more poised perspective, from a calmer perspective, from a perspective that allows you to take the right decisions at the right time. Whereas when we start our day off center and off balance, the opposite happens. We tend to take rushed decisions, which are pretty much never serving or helping us. So self-care is about filling your cup first. And for me, it's also been a journey of understanding more about it through the 6 energy therapies that I went through and got certified in. So let me share the first practice of today out of the 3 practices. And this is where I wanted to show you the energy map. We're going to go over 2 maps today. This is the energy map, and the second one will be your feminine monthly cycle, which is so important to have in mind as well as women. So who among you is already familiar with this energy map or has already seen it? The reason I'm showing you this map is because it takes a more holistic. If you've seen the map before, please type yes in the chat. The reason I'm showing you this map is because it takes a very holistic view on our approach to life and business. So it looks at how you nourish your body, so the physical level, how you nourish your mind, the mental level, how you nourish your emotions, the emotional level, and how you nourish your spirit, or the soul, I would say, spirit level, or you can look at it also in terms of energy. So I invite you to actually reflect on this. And this is a very beautiful practice that I like to give to my leadership coaching clients. And I ask them to look at each of these 4 quadrants and make a list of what is not serving them in each of these 4 quadrants, and the list of the healthy practices that they either already have on their schedule for taking care of themselves, or they wish they had. So I will give you a simple example. Let's start from the first quadrant, the body, or the physical level. I'm going to take myself as the guinea pig and give you the example. So if I were to make a list of unhealthy practices, the level of the body, the top number 1 that used to be unhealthy for me, but right now I'm regulating it, and it's proving to be so nourishing and nurturing and amazing. It's sleep, and looking at my sleep cycles. So I used to sleep less than 8 hours a day, and I realized that I actually need these 8 hours every night, and it's not self defeating to sleep more. It's actually self-replenishing to sleep as long as you need to. The important mark here is the fact that we each have different needs, physiological needs of sleep. So I really want to normalize the fact that if somebody needs 6 hours of sleep only, that is okay. That is what their body needs. If somebody else may need 9 hours of sleep every day, and that's also okay. I'm at the, I would say, within the usual 8 hours. But I used to compromise a lot on that. And right now, and especially given the biological age I have, I'm in my late 30s, it's so important for me not to compromise on my sleep and my sleep level. So this is for me my top #1 way to replenish my body. And it also impacts the mind and emotions, to be honest. The level of sleep you get impacts your mind and emotions. So if you can resonate with that, you can type yes in the chat. And there's no reason to belittle ourselves for the amount of sleep that we need. It's actually very, very, very important to find ways to give our body and the mind the amount of sleep it needs to reset every day. Another item on my list for the physical level is my intake of coffee. I want to reduce that, so that's definitely on the list of things to reduce. And on the positive side, I've introduced sports. I love jogging. I don't burn out my body though when I jog, so I love to take a balanced approach. You won't see me running marathons, although I do cheer and congratulate people that run marathons if it's a passion calling for them. For me, it's not a passion calling to run marathons or to run my body down. For me, my passion is to have a balanced, thriving body that allows me to actually accomplish the things that I'm here to accomplish in the world. I am so passionate, and a body that I feel confident and beautiful in and well nourished. So I do go running, and I run the amount just enough so that I can sweat out my night out of my body. Another practice that I love to cultivate here is dancing, moving, any movement. We're talking about the feminine energy, any type of movement that you can do for your body that is really flowing and sensual and loving, whether that is dancing on your own in the house, whether that is actually joining a dance class, whether that is dancing with friends, anything that has to do, or as I've seen some Pilates classes or yoga classes that are more like an easy flow. Anything that allows you to really drop in and feel through every fiber of your body that your body is beautiful, your body is sacred, and we all have different body types. I won't go into that. But anything and everything that allows you to develop a relationship of reverence, of gentleness, of love, of joy, of being in your body is something to be cultivated. Also, food and nourishment, what you feed your body is so, so, so important. So here you can develop a list of no's and yeses for you. I know that for me, for example, what really serves me is having introduced indeed a lot more veggies and fruits in my diet. I am primarily, but again, I don't want to speak too much about that because every body type is different. You can look into Ayurveda, you can look into different practices and see what works for you, really see what works for you. So for me, it's been so nourishing to have extensive periods of, for example, going vegan, but it may be different for you. I do have some fish from time to time if I really need more protein, but at the end of the day, we can find protein in beans, in mushrooms, in so many other things. So listen to your body and see what it needs. And also research a little bit more about your body type. And Ayurveda is also a great way to start to look into it. Mind, if I'm going to look at this quadrant, the not to, the my no's or not to on the list of to scrap off of my schedule are definitely mindless scrolling through the social media. This is my, and I think the society we live in is definitely something that makes us prone to that. Nobody is innocent when it comes to mindless scrolling through social media. And on the other hand side, what I want to cultivate more of when it comes to the mind is definitely reading. I'm reading so much. I can, if any of you is curious, I can give you extensive lists of the books that I read on the history or her story of the divine feminine. I read a lot of channeled books on the divine feminine and the saints and the goddesses and the archetypes, the feminine archetypes associated to the divine feminine. And I've even run a program last, Yulia was there, I've even run a program last year, a whole series of 13 weeks of connection to 13 beautiful, powerful goddesses and feminine archetypes from across different cultures, across the world, that allow us to embody more of the qualities of that archetype in us. So a series of lectures and meditations for us to connect to that sovereign divine feminine quality. To give you an example, Lakshmi is the Hindu goddess of abundance. So there was also a class on her. She's coming forth now. I guess the theme for today is abundance. Or archetypes like Mother Mary for compassion and love and self-love. We had her yesterday, right? The wild woman, yeah. And the wild woman is also a beautiful archetype, and there we have beautiful goddesses like Artemis and others that are so important to look into. I see these archetypes as feminine energy qualities that is important for us because we have a whole lifetime in our hands. So what will you do with your one big, beautiful, fabulous life? It's so important for us to activate as much as we can of our potential. So for me, these are gateways into activating more of our potential. So coming back to the mind and energy, I love to read and expose myself to anything that has to do with the divine feminine. So this is most of my reading list. I also love to read about business and business practices. I was actually talking yesterday morning before I started the masterclass. I was talking to my flatmate, and we shared our childhood dreams. You know, that big question, what do you want to do when you're asked when you're a child? And I remember that in teenagehood, I wanted at some point to be into movies and be a film director and do theater and things like that. But if I were to travel back in time the furthest possible in this lifetime, I actually remembered myself in kindergarten. I was literally in kindergarten dreaming of being dressed in Coco Chanel dresses, if you can imagine. So like those suits, the businesswoman suits of Coco Chanel. This is what I was dreaming when, can you imagine, when I was 3 or 4. And I remember telling myself, even before anybody else had asked me this question, I'm going to be a businesswoman. I didn't know what I was, but I was like, I see myself as a businesswoman. So this was the very, very first thing that came to me, even before I learned anything about business. So it was funny that it came to me a few days ago, and I realized, oh my goodness, I actually did wish for this as a young kid. So the other part of my big library of what I'm reading has to do with conscious business, in the sense of I love to read about energy practices when it comes to building your business from a place whereby you are nourished, your audience is nourished, and you create solid connections, you create solid communities of thriving collaborations with everybody, whether that's your clients or people that you want to have in your life. And this is why I'm committed to bringing not only more of my content online and live, but also to bring inspiring guest speakers, because I see us as women as being at the forefront of this new conscious businesses in the world. We are here to be at the forefront of the conscious businesses in the world, and through the feminine qualities that we have. So one of them is this quality of not standing for competition, but standing for collaboration, standing for mutual encouragement, standing for mutual support. What we get to showcase, we get to embody. So the more you cheer and applaud, and you see the gift and the brilliance in another woman next to you, the more you get to embody that. It's an effect. What you cultivate, you get back. So it's a direct effect, I would say, of feeding yourself when you get to be happy and applaud other person's successes. And it's a journey. It doesn't necessarily come easily from the very beginning, because we are very much programmed from being little and in the school system to be in competition and to be against each other, to be graded. And we look at people and we grade. Oh, he's too much of that. She's too much of that. Or no, it's brilliant that they're out there and they're showing and sharing their knowledge in whatever shape and form. There is room. How should I say this? There's room under the sky for everybody to showcase their gifts. And I really believe we live in an abundant universe, in an abundant world, no matter what the news and political agenda is trying to tell us. We really, as women, we have this intelligence in our energetic makeup, in our bodies. We are very deeply connected to the earth and Mother Earth, and we know that the earth is an abundant planet. It can supply us if we take care of it, it can supply us indefinitely. And also our bodies, much like the earth, have the capacity to regenerate themselves if we give them the right nurture, the right environment, the right friendships, the right mind thoughts, and the right emotions that we get to cultivate within ourselves. We are self-regenerating bodies, and we are divine. The earth is a beautiful divine creation. We are a beautiful divine creation. So it's time we treat ourselves as such, and it's time we showcase it to the whole world. That's why I see women at the forefront of this revolution in business and conscious business. So going back to this energy map, my two main reading lists have to do with business and how to manage your business and your energy at the same time, and the feminine, the divine feminine. What am I doing for the mind as well? I do like to invest in myself and follow courses in my field of fashion. I've attended events. That's where I met the speaker, yesterday's speaker, Madalena. I met her at a personal growth event through Mind Valley. And yeah, I really am super passionate about investing in myself. Yulia here knows She knows me very well. The latest investment I've done in myself is a course on ancestral healing and ancestral healing medicine. So I really love to stay. I'm hungry for knowledge. Like I devour knowledge, and I'm committed to continue doing so. If there's only a month in my life where I stop learning something, then where I learn nothing new, then I feel like I haven't progressed. And I really believe that we are here to expand. At the end of the day, yes, we are cyclical. I'll show you in the next slide. We are cyclical as women, but at the same time, we are also, speaking of the resonance of everything in this universe, the scientists have discovered that this universe is it's expanding. It's in continuous expansion. So at the end of the day, if we are as above as so below, if we are to reflect that and each other, then we as well are in a constant expansion. So yeah, I'm going to go into the emotions quadrant in a moment. So on the emotional level, the practices that I really want to take off have to do with, it's also actually not being mindful of not being present with my emotions. This is something definitely to constantly be mindful of. Luckily, I have introduced so many practices that have to do with energy healing to deal with any emotions that come up. And also the simplest thing that I can suggest here when it comes to managing your emotions better is it all starts with awareness. A simple practice that you can cultivate is journaling and looking at where's this, I'm feeling this, and why am I feeling this? It's like, okay, what's happening? Why is this happening? Where is it coming from? So just starting to be curious with no judgment. It's so important for us to be doing everything in life and business from a foundation of self-love and self-compassion. So when we eliminate the judgment out of it, that's when we get to be present and curious like a child. Okay, I'm feeling sorrow or this anger. How can I deal with it? Because our inner healthy child knows there's ways to deal with it. It knows it's temporary. And another quality of the feminine is the fact that the feminine knows that everything is cyclical. So you will not get stuck in that emotion. She knows that there's no way in the world that we get to be stuck in anger or in sorrow or in grief or in sadness. It's temporary. Everything is temporary. Everything constantly changes. So therefore, she knows there's a way out as well. So that's when you get to play and be curious and ask yourself, what is the way out of this? What can I do to get out of it? Maybe it's a session of breath work. Maybe it's a discussion with your best friend that lifts you up, doesn't bring you down. Maybe it's I love to meditate and to alchemize or do energy healing. But no matter what's your way of doing that, just be present and know that what you're doing is called alchemy. You are alchemizing your emotions and you allow them to, well, first of all, sit with them and be present, not avoid them. You are recognizing them. And the moment you recognize something, it starts to, like the moment you put light on a shadow, it starts to dissipate. So it's so important for us to be, that's why it's so important to be present with our emotions, because it gets to already start alchemizing and transforming once you put light on it, meaning the light is your awareness, is your presence with no judgment. And therefore, that starts the process of alchemical transformation into something else. And afterwards, you can decide what you want to do about it. Maybe it's a decision you've been postponing, and you know what, this is what's going to take me out of this anxiety, is just going ahead with it and doing it, for goodness sake, and choosing love over fear. I'm just saying, but no matter what it is for you, action, so presence and then action. It's not one before the other. It's always presence and recognition before taking action that is aligned with you. That's what allows the emotion to be alchemized. So this on my to-do or on my yes list when it comes to emotions is definitely being present with my emotions, going through this alchemical process whenever I need to, and at the same time investing. So having activities that allow me to really raise my emotional level. I'm gonna show you here, I hope I have it. Maybe some of you have heard about David Hawkins. David Hawkins is a researcher, beautiful, amazing researcher who's no longer alive, but he lived many years, up to I think 90 something. And his passion was to read and understand about emotions, and he developed a way to measure the frequency, the energetic frequency of every emotion. So I'm going to show you, this is a slide from another lesson I have. Okay. So, and this is the map of emotions he has developed based on his measurements of the frequency at which each emotion vibrates. So when we are facing a certain emotion, we basically attune to a certain level of vibration or frequency. And as you can see here on the scale, I hope you can see the slide well, the emotions that vibrate the lowest, and guess what, that brings our energy very low as well, are shame and guilt and apathy and grief. These are on the scale of, he called it the scale of consciousness, or the scale of the level of the frequencies. They're at 20, 50, 75.
Alina?
Yeah?
Noi nu putem să vedem imaginea și se vede doar mind, body, spirit de vreo 20 de minute, cred.
Okay.
Dacă ai mers prin prezentare.
Okay, good to know. Can you see? Let me see how I can share. Okay, I have to stop the screen share, and I'll share this new slide. Thank you for telling me that, Elena. Okay, thank you for letting me know. I was projecting, but I couldn't see the chat. Thank you so much for letting me know. Can everybody see it now? The scale of the emotional state? Awesome. Beautiful. Who is familiar already with it? I don't want to be talking about something that is definitely very familiar. I've seen it several times, but at the same time, it's good to have it as a reminder constantly. I go back to it over and over again. So as you can see on the lower end of the scale, you have shame and guilt and apathy. And again, nothing to be shameful of. I also have moments, we are all human, when I go into maybe shame and guilt. But at the same time, it's so important for us to have the right tools to get out of it. And the further you go up on the scale, so as you can see, beyond fear, there's desire. Anger and pride are somewhere in the middle. And then the tipping point of the scale is courage. Number 9 here, courage or valor. So the moment you have the courage to take action, this is why yesterday we had the third practice of self-love, was actually to take action on one of the dreams we had been postponing this year. Because the moment we develop courage to take action on something we've been postponing, despite the fear, despite the anxiety, despite whatever we feel is holding us back, that's when we upgrade, we go higher on the emotional scale. And from there onwards, as you can see, the emotions that vibrate the highest are neutrality, acceptance, reason, love, joy, peace, and so on. So this is an interesting scale to have in mind. I'm gonna make a little pause here and ask you if you have any insights so far. Let me check the Facebook chat. Ah, hello. Okay. Oh, my beautiful. Okay, I'm just gonna read through the comments of Denisa. She says that after her mom passed away, she realized how important it is. Yes, yes, self-care and sleep is necessary to function as well. Dancing is best. A-Fest, yes, absolutely. I had met Denisa at A-Fest as well. Awesome. So hello and hi to my beautiful mom who's joining us on the Facebook Live as well. So say hi if you're joining on Facebook Live or on the Zoom. I can see actually everybody who's on Zoom. So hi Luna. So going back to the framework, I would love to invite you to share what are some of your practices, your go-to practices when it comes to your emotional, mental, and physical well-being. So feel free to type in the chat because we get that way we get to inspire each other and we get to learn from each other. I'm gonna give a few moments so that everybody types in the chat. And on the fourth quadrant, I can say on the spirit level, what works for me has been for many years now, meditation, prayer, time spent in nature. This time spent in nature, I feel like nature, speaking of nature, I feel I can connect best with where I get to be attuned and my levels of intuition grow, and I have so many beautiful insights with regards to my work and what I'm creating and what I'm sharing when I am in nature, because nature vibrates at such a beautiful high level of purity. So that's what works for me on the spirit level. Being in nature. Okay. So the practice for today is actually very simple. The takeaway for today is to develop, as I was sharing, to develop your own energy map. And it's really, it's a game changer. I'm super serious when I say it's a game changer, and it's been a game changer for me in my life to do a list for each of these quadrants of what I'm letting go of, what I no longer need in my life, as well as what I'm inviting more of and cultivating more of on a weekly basis. And then the next thing to do, this is the second practice for today in terms of self-care, is from next week onwards, or you can even start from this week, once you have your own energy quadrant, because everybody's different, you have your own practices to replenish in each of these 4 areas. Once you have it established and clear, to pick one practice from your yes list, pick one practice every week in each of these 4 quadrants, and to actually go ahead and make time for yourself to enjoy it. It can be like, I don't know, physical exercise for the body, and as we talked, for the mind, it can be, I don't know, one of those documentaries you've been postponing on watching, or whatever nourishes you. But pick one every week in each of the 4 quadrants to make time for your own energy replenishment. And this, having the yes/no list for each of the 4 quadrants is so important. And again, no judgment if we go into the old habits, but it actually helps us keep us in check with where we want to go. All right. And I also wanted to quickly, I'm not going to stay long on it because I'm going to go into it in the more in the Innovatrix Academy. I wanted to quickly share with you the female energy cycle map, because this is also a very important aspect of our feminine energy. As we all know, we have a moon cycle. And it's time that we as women get to respect it. It's starting to be respected as well in the business world. I've heard as women that I've heard of women that actually know how to make a point about it at work. And we're living in an age where not only maternity leave gets to be respected more and more, but also the mindfulness about our energy cycle is starting to gain more momentum. As entrepreneurs, it's maybe easier to take care of that, although not always. But also in the corporate world, it's so important. There are very simple ways you can use in order to attune more to your energy cycle. Monthly energy moon cycle. So the moon cycle is, we journey like with the moon. We have 28 days, more or less 28 days. And here you can look at it as seasons. We have spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Winter is our bleeding time. And it used to be really, if we go back to the ancient tribal times or the matriarchal times, and I'm not saying it's time to bring the matriarchy back, where we're living in an age where we get to balance the feminine and the masculine. But there are healthy practices that we as women used to respect back then that we would benefit from bringing more of back. So what used to happen in those times is that women would come together in circles around their bleeding time, and they would get to rest, nourish, and share introspective, share intuitions. They would get highly attuned with, they would get visions, they would get intuitions, they would get, but they would rest and pause at that time. They would come in circles together and support each other through that time of the month. And they were like the oracles of the village, so to speak, because at that time we get so sensitive. We don't only get intuitions and visions, but we are hypersensitive. I know it because I've been through it, and I couldn't understand it when I was in the corporate world, but I do understand a little bit more of it now. Why I was so, I would get more anxious, I would get more moody. They call it moodiness, but what it is, it's actually your body telling you, slow down, honey. It's not moodiness. It's actually your body telling you, take care of me. I need your attention. I need your time now. Drop that file and take care of me. And it's so important as women that we get to see and recognize that our winter time, it's important then more than ever during the whole monthly cycle to make space to rest, to sleep well, to eat well, and to make space and time for reflection. Because there are scientists who have proven that once we don't only bleed physically, but we also go through an energetic cycle of shedding all the emotions, it's our own inner hygiene. Every month we shed all the emotions, the situations we've crossed and been through that month. We shed everything that no longer serves us. So it's wonderful that we have this process as women, and it's so important that we are present with it and we make space for rest and well-being. If we do make space, it's very interesting, and I really challenge all of us here to reflect into what I'm going to say next. If we do make space for at least what I do right now is the first 2 days I try to really rest and nourish. The first 2 days of my winter time, I try to rest as much, nourish well, make time for journaling, for reflection. 2 or 3 days, because for some women it's more intense. I have 5 days winter, but for some women and with the first 2 very intense. For some women it may be different, maybe less or more days. But when we make space to be present with that and rest, we get more energy. I kid you not. This is tried and tested. We get more energy in our spring and summertime. So we get to accomplish way more during the whole month. Not to mention the fact that we get more visions, we get more insights, we get to be more creative. So ladies, this is ladies' time. We need to respect it. And it's not shameful. It's actually, again, fulfilling to get to recognize that we deserve that self-care and wellness. We are just, our bodies are just formed differently than men's. So therefore we don't have the same energy cycles as men. And it's proven scientifically that our energy cycles are different. So for men, maybe they may be in the go mode, although they also need long periods of rest and restoration. But we are cyclical, and we need to recognize that we are so much in sync with the earth cycles. The earth is cyclical, it has its seasons, we have our seasons, and also the planet, we're in sync with the planetary movements and so on and so forth. This used to be recognized in ancient times when women were seen as like the oracles of the village, so to speak, and it's coming back more and more with the rise of the consciousness of the feminine and the feminine energy on the planet again. So for the time being, I just want you to be mindful, because I don't want to go too much over time today, of the fact that you have 4 seasons. You have the winter, the spring, the summer, and the autumn to honor and respect. And you can start reading more about it or reach out to me. I'm super happy to do another session on it. If there's any particular topic that you appreciate really, really highly during these 5 days of the mastermind, please tell me so I can do more sessions on it. Spring and summer are, of course, the phases when our energy levels are higher. They're at the highest if we have respected our winter time. And also we get to be creative. And autumn is the time when it's better for us to schedule more admin activities, when we get to do less stressful activities, so we prepare for our winter. Okay, so this is the 3rd practice for today. I encourage you to make a note of where you are in your feminine moon cycle and plan ahead your activities in your business, whether you're in the corporate or an entrepreneur. Try and see how you can plan your activities, if possible, and where possible, around your moon cycle, and make sure that you make that valuable time for your winter time. You rested well, nourished well, and to give yourself more space and time to reflect on the month that has passed. Okay. Let me check on the comments. Denisa says healthy food, meditation, yoga, nature. Yes. It's so important. Thank you for sharing that, Denisa. Okay. I'm gonna stop the share and I wanna invite you. Oh yes, Luna says ecstatic dance. What are her replenishing activities? Ecstatic dance, run, singing, forest, night walks, afternoon walks, going through, just entrusting your intuition, not looking at the map, absolutely, and after meditation. Oh, so beautiful. Okay, any insights that you have so far before we go into the final meditation of today? If you have time to stay for the meditation, I welcome you. If you don't, that's okay, and you can see it in the replay. I'm super grateful once again for everybody who has joined today for the 2nd session of the Mastermind on energy management. What was your biggest insight so far from everything we covered? And you can unmute yourself as well and share live or in the chat. Okay, was it useful? I'm just quickly asking, is it useful, everything that I'm sharing? Because I don't want to share things that are that people find redundant or anything. Okay, yes. Wonderful, thank you. I don't want to share anything that feels redundant or feels like you've listened to it too many times. At the same time, some of these topics I do love listening to several times because they're very, very good reminders. Oh, thank you, Luna. Trust, yes, so beautiful, wonderful, Elena. Thank you so much. Yes, trust that it's helpful. Yes, it is. I'm feeling so energized as I speak about it because it's been on part of my journey of reclaiming back my sovereignty and my femininity to get more in tune with these topics and to manage my energy levels better, to understand my feminine moon cycle and all of it. All right, so with that said, I am going to invite you for the closing meditation for today, both on, if you're joining on Facebook or on the Zoom live. So time to sit back, relax, and receive. Speaking of abundance, we're again expanding our capacity to receive, your container for receiving, especially since you've invested this time for yourself this morning. So I invite you to just sit back and relax. You can take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. You can even close your eyes while you relax and make sure your back is supported. It's so important to have your back supported. And we're going to do a very short, loving meditation, centering meditation that allows you to balance each of your energy centers. So the energy centers that I'm referring to are recognized across various cultures, whether that is in Buddhism, Hinduism, in Chinese acupuncture, if we are to think about the body having meridians and energy centers. So I'm going to focus on the 7 main energy centers today. Actually, I'm going to include an 8th energy center, and that is our connection to the earth, to Mother Earth. I'm going to focus on these 8 energy centers for allowing us to rest, re-energize, and activate each of them. So just relax and gently closing your eyes. I invite you to take a deep breath into your belly and into your chest, and then exhale all the air out. And another deep breath into your belly, into your chest. And exhale all the air out through your mouth. And the final deep breath into your belly, into your chest, and exhale all the air and everything you no longer need. Exhale it all out. And start by connecting to your heart. You can maybe gently bring a hand to your heart and a hand to your belly. The seat of your creation as a woman. And feel into your core. Feel into your beautiful feminine power and presence. Feel into your inner goddess. And as you do so, I invite you to imagine that your root, the basis of your coccyx, your root energy center, is opening up to connect to the epicenter of Mother Earth. So you're just connecting your root, the coccyx, the base of your spine, with the epicenter of the earth, And there's super, super, super high vibrant energy there, and love and nourishment. So I invite you to really welcome in that connection with Mother Earth and see what she has to bring you. Maybe she wants to bring you love. Maybe she's here today to bring you gentleness. Maybe she's here with you today to bring you peace. Maybe she's here with you today to bring you rest. Maybe she's here with you today to bring you deep, deep restoration and trust and anchoredness. So as you do so, you can see your root, the base of your spine, as shining brilliantly, and the root is also the base of your safety, your security, and your financial well-being. To see that you're releasing anything you no longer need from there into the core of Mother Earth, and you're being blessed by a shower from the divine. You're being blessed with health, with joy and abundance. You're being blessed with security, and your root energy center is being upgraded to newer, heightened and higher levels of stability, of wealth and well-being. And you can even see it as a glowing golden light, the seat of your health, wealth and abundance, in a glowing golden light. And we gently move upwards to your sacral. That's the second energy center. And here, this is, you can put a hand, it's on your belly. And this is the seat of your feminine creativity, of your sensuality, of your playfulness, of your inner child, as well as of your maiden, of your playful maiden. So any stuck and old energies here are being gently released into the Mother Earth, who is transmuting it all. And you're receiving the blessings of a shower, a golden light shower of joy, of health in this energy center, and of abundant, vibrant creativity, playfulness, sensuality, love, innocence, and joy. And as you're receiving these blessings, you feel very, very, very anchored, deeply anchored in your power. We're moving gently upwards to the third energy center, which is the solar plexus. And it's right above, slightly above your belly. And you can imagine it as a golden sun. And it's the center of it's the seat of your power, your authority. It's really connected to how you show up in the world from a place of stability, power, inner power, anchoredness as a woman. And anything that is constricting you, if you feel constriction in your solar plexus, I want you to gently let it go. It's old stuck energies, just let it go down into the earth very gently so that Mother Earth absorbs it and alchemizes it. It's like photosynthesis, transforming the old into the new, vibrant energies. So releasing and letting go of any stuckness and any constriction in this area of your solar plexus into the earth. And receiving at the same time a shower of blessings, blessings from the divine, and opening up like a sun, imagining that your solar plexus is now beaming like a sun outwards into the world, and you feel so delightful, so grounded, so anchored in your power. Let this golden sun radiate and receive the shower of blessings from the divine, replenishing your energy. And then we're gently moving to the heart. The heart is the fourth energy center, and it's in the middle. And it's the heart is the seat of our lovingness, of our compassion, of our forgiveness of ourselves and others. So I want you to gently imagine that you're letting go of any sorrow, any pain, any constriction, anything you feel in the area of your heart that is holding you back, in any space around your chest or inside, that you're letting go of it now. Once and for all, it's gone and it's going deep into the earth. Let Mother Earth take care of it. Let yourself be supported and nourished by Mother Earth and by your connection to the divine. And as you're letting go of this old stuckness or any pain in the area of your chest, of your heart, I invite you to welcome in the blessings of the divine shower of bright white golden light, activating your heart to receive blessings of love, of gentleness, of compassion, of joy, of lightheartedness, of playfulness, knowing that you are worthy, knowing that you are safe, and knowing that you are loved just as you are. Knowing that everything is and will be okay. And you may even tune in and listen and hear if you get any extra message from your heart today, as you receive this shower of blessings for your heart. And we gently move upwards to the final three centers. The throat is the fifth energy center. And here I invite you to let go into the earth, into Mother Earth. Imagine it like old stuck energy being released, like old clouds going down into the earth. Of anything that you've been holding yourself back from expressing, any way in which you've been holding back from speaking your truth or speaking to your worth and your well-being, you're letting go of that and using the energy of the heart, of forgiveness, of compassion. You're letting go of that now once and for all, and it's all going into the earth. while at the same time receiving a shower of blessings from the divine. This beautiful, pure, crystalline, white and golden light, blessing your throat, activating your throat to speak from a place of heart-centeredness, to speak from a place of deep-seated inner love and trust, to speak with ease, to speak with flow, to speak from a place of excitement and creativity and love and joy. Joy for yourself and gratitude for the world and that you live in and the life you have, and joy for being able to express, joy for having the capacity to speak your truth with gentleness and love. Receiving this shower of blessings, this huge, huge shower and wave of white and golden light into your throat energy center. And we move upwards to the middle of our forehead, or the third eye, the vision center, as it is called. Anything that's been blocking your vision about yourself and your future is now being released gently into the earth. And you're receiving this great, beautiful shower of blessings from the divine to activate your visionary thinking, to activate your visionary feeling, and to activate your most vibrant, vital, healthy future that is connected and seated in love, abundance, and well-being for yourself and those around you. And last but not least, we reach the crown. You get to be crowned as the queen that you are, the crown energy center, which is the tip of your head. Here I will invite you to imagine that any heavy clouds that have been sitting on the tip of your head, any draining thoughts or feelings are released gently now once and for all into Mother Earth, for her to transmute it and alchemize it. And you're being bathed in a shower at the same time, in a shower of golden white light. The tip of your head is receiving all this beautiful shower of blessings, and you allow this shower to really bathe all your being. All your beautiful being is bathed into this shower of beautiful white and golden divine light. And you're receiving the blessings and being activated to stand in your power as a woman and to live your truth with integrity, with sovereignty, with love, with ease and grace. And to receive all the insights and all the intuitions that you need in order to move forward on your unique, loving path in the world. And that your connection with the divine is uninterrupted and it's ongoing. The tip of your head or your crown energy center, imagine you're receiving this beautiful crown from the divine. You're being crowned into the seat of your feminine intelligence and feminine power. And your heart is beaming with love, excitement, and joy, and your belly, your womb as a woman, is receiving the blessings of birthing new creations into the world. And at the same time, you're being deeply anchored and supported by Mother Earth to seed your creations and to live from a place of joy, of health, of balance, and well-being. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And as you gently come out of it in your own time and start opening your eyes and stretching, I hope this meditation of balancing your energy centers as a woman serves you well for today, for the whole day, and for the whole week. And feel free to come back to these meditations in the recordings. You can skip and go straight to the meditations anytime you need to in the following days. And you can even learn how to do these practices on your own, because they are very deeply, deeply nurturing and beautiful. So take all the time you need to come back. And before we wrap up and close the session 2 on energy management as women of the day 2 of the Women's Mastermind on self-love and self-growth, I invite you to say anything you would like to in the chat, maybe to the other women who have joined today as well. And I also want to take this space and time to invite you to the very, very powerful we were speaking about sitting in our power, the very powerful session with the guest speaker we will have this afternoon. She is a dear friend and a woman in tech. She's working as a product manager in the tech sector, but at the same time she developed literally on the side a thriving, so this just shows you how everything is possible, balancing entrepreneurship and a corporate life should you ever wish to. So it's so fascinating to meet Alexandra. Alexandra will speak to us about how she developed a very thriving, beautiful network of feminine leadership through her podcast, Femme Lead, where she interviews career women from across the world and lets them share their life stories and how they made it in the sense of really achieved the dreams that they were after in the career that they were most looking for. She's interviewed women like from astronauts to medical scientists to coaches. I've also been a guest speaker on her podcast, to management consulting experts, to so on and so forth. So I do invite you for the interview this afternoon at 4 p.m. Portugal time, 5 p.m. CET. And I believe it's 6 p.m. East African time, if I'm not wrong, because it's going to be really enriching and insightful. Okay, so with that said, thank you all for joining today's session, morning session. I'm so grateful. I'm so delighted that you're here. It means the world to me. And I will see you this afternoon. Bye-bye. Okay, stop the recording. Bye-bye. See you this afternoon.